بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. In the name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful. Hello dear brothers and sisters, respected viewers. Welcome to the Shining Moons live show. Welcome to land of Hussein. Welcome to land of Abbas. Welcome to Karbala. Welcome to this piece of paradise. I hope all your fasts and prayers and worshiping to Almighty are accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and every night you have gotten closer and closer to Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'een through the ziyarat and dua and narrations that you read, inshallah, in this month. This month is a great month in which we need to refresh ourselves. Actually, this month is a great time to return to ourselves, to think about what we've done before and what we are going to do in future. As long as the nights of Qadr are within this month, so it means that we need to ask forgiveness from Almighty because of what we've done in the past. We have done something wrong, maybe the sins, maybe it's things that we really didn't want to do, but we did them, and we just asked forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in the nights of Qadr, inshallah, once again we ask forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the bad deeds that we've done before, and we ask mercy from Almighty, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the future, for the next year which is coming. So this month is a great month which will fix our destiny. You know, your destiny is going to be written and fixed in this month, most of it. And inshallah, in the nights of Qadr, we try to get the best rewards, we try to get the best futures for ourselves. I'm just making it in plural because it's not only one future, one for one person. We all got different kind of futures. So anyway, we're starting this show once again live from Karbala, and I know that you are waiting for a humble salam to Imam Hussein alayhi salam and Abul Abbas alayhi salam. So as long as you are waiting, I'm not making the first conversation and the first lecture so long, and I'm going to have a humble salam to Imam Hussein alayhi salam and Abul Abbas alayhi salam on your behalf. And after that, inshallah, we're going to talk more about the greatness of this month. So join me with a humble salam to Imam Hussein alayhi salam and Abul Abbas alayhi salam. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, O Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, O Master of Martyrs, O Bab al-Hawaj, O Sayyid Shabab Ahl al-Jannah, the Master of the Youth of Heaven. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Rasulillah. We send salam to you, O son of Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen. We say salam to you and send our salams to you, O son of the Commander of Faithful. We send our salams to you, O son of Fatima al-Zahra, salamullah alayha, daughter of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Assalamu alayka wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bifina'ik. We say salam to you and those souls who sacrifice themselves for you. Assalamu alayka wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bifina'ik. Alayka minni salamullahi abadan. Ma baqitu wa baqiya al-layl wa al-nahar. We send our salams to you every day and night. Assalamu alayka wa ala al-arwah allati hallat bifina'ik. Alayka minni salamullahi abadan ma baqitu wa baqiya al-layl wa al-nahar. Wa la ja'alahu Allahu akhir al-ahd minni li ziyaratik. We ask Almighty not to make this ziyarah the final ziyarah, the last ziyarah of ours. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. Let's say humble salam to Bab al-Hawaj, قمر بني هاشم أبا الفضل عباس عليه السلام. السلام عليك أيها العبد الصالح المطيع لله ولرسوله ولأمير المؤمنين والحسن والحسين. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس. السلام عليك يا قمر بني هاشم. السلام عليك يا ساقي العطاشة. السلام عليك يا كاشف الكرب عن وجه الحسين. اكشف كروبنا بحق أخيك الحسين عليه السلام. In this very beginning minutes of the show, of this live show, the Shiny Moons, we've about 10 minutes to read all the beautiful salams and du'as and recitations and salutations that you have sent through Facebook. And I'm ready to read and go through them, to read them, okay? So you can send me, if you would like to say salam to Imam Hussein alayhi salam live right now, you can call through the Facebook Messenger of my own, my personal Facebook Messenger. I have the cell phone right here. And if you would like, also you can send messages. I'm going to read them. So this night is yours and you will be Za'ar of Hussein alayhi salam. Arfan Haku says, Salam Imam. Homar Rizvi says, please pray for my husband بیمار کربلا که سکای سی جلد شفا ده آمین. Ilahi Amin, Ilahi Amin. She's asking for recovery and for health for her husband, I think, in sake of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, I think. Anyway, Muhammad Azim Khan says, Ya Mawla Adrikni. Hello, brother Muhammad Azim Khan. Hello, Huma Rizvi and Arfan Haku. May Allah bless you all and thank you for joining us. Asma Jabin says, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Vijay Zahra says, Allahumma al'an awwala zalimin zalama haqqa Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa akhira tabi'in lahu ala dhalik. Allahumma al'anhum jami'a. If you have recited Ziyarah Ashura, as we can see, we recite and we read that it says, اللهم عنهم جميعا الذي أسرجت وألجمت وتنقبت. We also got this phrases. It means that even those who prepared the horses, even those who put the seats on the horses, and those who just covered their faces in order to be with the army, but they didn't enter the battlefield personally, but they were just like the background or the back party of the army of Yazid la'natullah alayh. Even may Almighty have his curse on them. So those who even help the enemy of Ahlul Bayt are cursed. Thank you so much, Vijay Zahra, for this beautiful message. Allahumma al'an awwala zalimin zalama haqqa Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa akhira tabi'in lahu ala dhalik. Thank you so much. She also says, اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم ولعن عدوهم. MashaAllah. Muhammad Azim Khan says, Ya Mawla, call me and make me your Za'ir and make me your Manzura Nazar. Ilahi Ameen, Ilahi Ameen. BJ Zahra also says, Ruhi wa jismi laka al-fida. My soul and my body be sacrificed for you. Ya Sayyidi wa Mawlai, O my master, Ya Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, O Imam Hussein alayhi salam, wa akhika Aba al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, and your brother Aba al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. Thank you so much, Sister Vijay Zahra. Everything which is through Ahlul Bayt, which is for Ahlul Bayt, is good. And everything, even it is good in shape, but if it is not for Ahlul Bayt, it is not through Ahlul Bayt, it is not accepted. This is exactly what we have talked about the other night, if you remember. Muhammad Azim Khan says, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Assalamu alayka ya Babu al-Hawa'ij, Mawla Abbas alayhi salam. Assalamu alayka ya Qa'ima Ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Ya Mawla, call me and make me your Za'ir and make me your Manzura Nazar. Ya Mawla, fulfill my hajats and bless me with your shafa'at. Ilahi Ameen. لبيك يا مولا حسين عليه السلام. لبيك يا مولا عباس عليه السلام. لبيك يا مولا إمام القائم أجل الله تعالى فرج الشيخ آباد Wallah, Abad Wallah, Ya Zahra, Ma Nansa Hussein. It is in Arabic, but written in English letters. Very good. Thank you so much, brother Muhammad Azim Khan. Vijay Zahra says, Assalamu ala al-Hussein, wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein, wa ala awlad al-Hussein, wa ala ashab al-Hussein, wa ala akhika Abul Fadl Abbas, alayhi salam. Muhammad Jan Turkmani says, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. He also says, Labbayka ya Hussein, Assalamu alayka ya Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, Janam Fadayat, means that my soul and my life be sacrificed for you, mashallah. Parviz Sayyid Rafi says, Assalamu alaikum ya Imam Hussein. Thank you so much, brother Parviz. Muhammad Jan Turkmani also says, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. It's great. I, alhamdulillah, could read all the messages. If you would like to send your salam, your dua, your message through Facebook live show, I'm ready to receive it and read it for you on your behalf, and inshallah we'll be za'ireen on your behalf, inshallah. Now, as I'm just Abdul Ghaffar Muhibbi says, thank you for beautiful program. Oh, thank you so much for joining us and tuning in. Here I would like to remember the marhumin, rahmatullah alayhum. May Allah have mercy on their soul. And let's all together recite Surah Fatiha and send the thawab of this Surah Fatiha to their soul, as I'm here in Karbala, and it's a very, very great and unique and perfect place, and I hope inshallah all of you be here soon. I think that it would be a great idea to send a reward to our marhumin as well. So let's all together recite Surah Fatiha for those marhumin who they are waiting for these rewards, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Inshallah, may Allah have mercy on the soul of all the marhumin, and inshallah they be happy by this Surah Fatiha that we just recited for their soul. So this is all what we can do. Actually, there is something else we can do for our marhumin. You know that in many narrations, in many hadith, we read that it's very good for mu'mineen and mu'minat, for those who remain, for those who are alive, to send thawab for their marhumin, even by reciting Quran and sending the thawab of the Quran for them, the Holy Quran, or by giving food to the poor people, or having the Sufra Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, Sufra Hasrat Ruqayya, the tablecloths that we had every Friday night, or every night of Friday, let's say. So we are ready, inshallah, for this week as well to have a Sufra, inshallah. So those who would like to share and send a thawab to their marhumin, they can send, or they can just say and show their readiness for this, and inshallah send the money that they want to sponsor for this thing, and it will be distributed among those poor and needy people, and it will be spent on favor of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and it will be spent for the Husseini things. So the thawab of this deed, of this job, is going to go inshallah to your marhumin. This is a good thing. Sometimes people say that, okay, in order to send thawab to my marhum, to my late father, to my late mother, or the other people who I love them, but they are not among us anymore, I would like to, for example, make a show. I would like to sponsor a show in which people introduce Ahlul Bayt more, so other people will learn about Ahlul Bayt, and thawab of this majlis, of this lecture, of this whatever, it goes to my marhum, it goes to the person who I love, and I'm going to send this thawab for him. So this is a very good idea. Sometimes some people give food in order to send thawab to their marhumin. Sometimes people sponsor some TV shows, some, I don't know, some cultural things or educational, lectures, to send the thawab of that lecture or that educational thing to their marhumin. Anyway, this is a good idea to not to forget our marhumin, inshallah, especially in this great month. I think that it's time to shift to the lecture that we are supposed and we are waiting for and we are supposed to have together, inshallah. So after a short break, we will have the respected guest, Sheikh Mustafa Akhund, in the studio, and we will start listening to his great lecture about the most comprehensive form of ziyarah, which is called Ziyarah Al Jamiah, inshallah. Let's have a short break. Hello once again to all dear brothers and sisters, respected viewers who are waiting eagerly for another lecture of the respected guest, Sheikh Mustafa Akhund, who is here in the studio with me, and inshallah he's going to start his lecture after I welcome him. Hello Sheikhna, and welcome to the studio.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to you, Brother Mustafa, and also all the viewers of Imam Hussein TV3. Asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first and foremost to hasten the appearance of our beloved Imam Mahdi ajalallah ta'ala farajuhu sharif, and make us amongst his sincere companions and soldiers inshaAllah, and grant the visitation of the holy shrines of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam to all the viewers inshaAllah, the ones who are watching us live and the ones who are going to watch us later inshaAllah as soon as possible.
Inshallah, inshallah. Sheikhna, before we go through the lecture and the rest of the translation and talking about the Ziyarah Al Jamiah, I would like to inform the respected viewers once again about the reward that they are going to have if they win the competition at the end of Shahr Ramadan.
Sure.
If you just give information.
Inshallah, I mean, we did start this campaign or examination. We started from the first night or second night. Those who watch the lecture every night, or they can watch it later on, if they don't watch it live, they can watch it on YouTube. And by the 27th of Ramadan, they can message us through the means that have a message the TV channel. We will WhatsApp them or email them the quiz or the test that has been prepared. And the test is basically, I'm going to go through every night's notes that I have from the lectures that I've gave and prepare some questions. And the winner of this examination will be rewarded to come. They will, their fares will be paid to come and visit the shrines of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam in Karbala, inshallah.
Inshallah. So the reward is a generous reward in both means, financially,
yes,
and spiritually, inshallah. It's very good. Thank you. So yesterday night we went through A'lam al-Tuqa, and tonight I think that we are going to go through
Iman.
Abwab al-Iman. Yeah,
yes.
Because Abwab al-Iman, they are the doors of the faith and of the belief. It's very good. So tonight, inshallah, we're going to start with Masabih al-Duja, or no? Abwab al-Iman has got anything?
Inshallah. No, inshallah, we start with Masabih al-Duja, even though Iman and faith that I believe we discussed it about 2 nights or 3 nights. We can talk more about it, the levels of Iman and so on and so forth. But inshallah, that should be some information that the respected audience can take and follow on that, inshallah. Wa Masabih al-Duja, we say salam to Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. You are the lanterns in the darkness. Duja, Masabih, well, the plural, or Misbah. Misbah means lantern or light that you have that illuminates a place, that gives light for you to see where the place is dark. Duja means absence of light or ignorance. The importance of light is that it will prevent us from being harmed or harming other people. For example, if we walk into the studio and if it's pitch black and there is no light, the chances of us hitting something, harming ourselves, or harming someone if they're sitting here, it's very high because we don't see. We don't know what is the decision to make. Should we go forward? Should we go right or left? So I remember one of my relatives playing hide and seek blindfold. When you put a blindfold and you start looking for people. And he got into a mirror because he wasn't able to see, and he cut himself. So he didn't see. So light in here, sometimes is the physical light, sometimes no, I have placed a light on my eyes to not see, as the Holy Quran mentioned within the previous nights we discussed. لَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا. They have eyes, but they don't see with it.
Yeah.
They have eyes, they see, but they're not paying attention. They're not learning a lesson. Or they have ears which they do not hear. Again, it's ear they're listening, but they are not participating and they are not understanding it. So Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, we say salam to them. You are the lanterns. The path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a clear path, but it needs light. And it needs something that the darknesses that shaitan places in front of us and tries to deviate us, for us to be able to identify this is darkness. We want to go straight. We don't want to go right or left. We want to go straight. That's why also we see within the famous hadith by Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he ascended to the heavens, he saw on the side of the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala writing in al-Husayn Misbahul Huda wa Safinatul Najah, that indeed Imam Hussein alayhi salam is the lantern of guidance and the ark of salvation. So why? Because again, we talked about it, touching the emotions, and the story of Imam Hussein alayhi salam is something that Allah doesn't want this story, this school, whatever has happened in Karbala to die. And no matter how many people did try to extinguish this light and to turn it off, والله متم نوره يريدون أن يطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم ولكن الله متم نوره. Allah wants this light to stay on. No matter what they do, still it will stay on. So again, we will move on, because throughout other phrases that we're talking about, this becomes obvious that how they are, when they are abwabul iman, they are doors to the faith, well, they're also the light to this path that we are walking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Actually, we can say that each phrase is showing and recovering or revealing, let's say, revealing one part of, or one aspect of their personality. True. And their...
But they're all connected to one another.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sure. Next phrase is وَعَلَامُ التُّقَى, which inshallah we'll spend more time tonight. Hopefully we can finish it, but if not, we will continue tomorrow night. أعلام التقى, you are, salam to Ahlul Bayt, you are the signs of piety. A'lam, the plural of alam. Alam has different meanings. One of the meanings of alam is the flag bearer, flag.
Yeah.
It's called alam. Like we called Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, that we are blessed to be next to a shrine, alam dar.
Flag bearer.
Flag bearer. So alam dar is the one who holds the flag.
The flag,
who was the flag bearer of Imam Hussein alayhi salam on the day of Ashura. So that's, in that flag shows a sign. That's why that the enemies of Imam Hussein alayhi salam won't dare to get near the camp of Imam Hussein alayhi salam while this alam was up, because they knew this is a sign that Abul Fadl Abbas is still alive, and while this flag is up, they can't get near it because he will annihilate them all. But after the flag goes down and Abul Fadl Abbas is martyred, and then the rest of the scenario of Karbala moves forward.
Yeah.
And they attack Imam Hussein alayhi salam and the camp and the rest, and so on and so forth. So that's one thing that it shows. A'lam, if we go with this meaning, so they show, they are the sign of piety, that everybody can say, okay, if you want to be pious, this is the pious people. This is what we need to do. This is how we have to imitate. Another meaning is about a mountain. A strong and firm and tall mountain that won't shake with anything. Like, I don't know if anybody was able until now. Maybe small hills, they can do something about it, but mountains can't be destroyed. They make a tunnel inside of it, but the whole mountain still stands still. It doesn't shake, it doesn't move. Again, smaller mountains, small hills, but this we're talking about alam with something that you can see very tall from far, standing firm, nothing shakes it. If we go with this definition, again, different definition can have different meaning, but it all reveals about this piety that we want to talk about. That their iman and their faith and their piety, it's a way that nothing shakes it. No matter how much the enemies of Islam, they try to ruin the image of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam by doing something that it will insult them, that they will react in a way that later on they will regret. No, their action is all based complete intelligence, even though they are the peak of emotion. This is very important for people to understand, that on the day of Ashura, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he has the absolute intelligence, the highest intelligence anyone can have. Allah gave him the knowledge, but he's also the peak of emotion.
Allah.
So what happens to Ali al-Akbar when Imam Hussein receives the call from his son Ali al-Akbar, and he runs toward Ali al-Akbar? Lady Zainab salamullah alayha run before him, after him. He says, Ya akha, ya ibn akha, oh my brother, oh son of my brother. Because the interpreters say that Imam Hussein, that moment he was about to die because of the grief that he had over his son Ali al-Akbar. Because again, he's the peak of emotion, but his action is all based on the intelligent. Not that emotion is bad. No, emotional and intelligent in the right way for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And we see that this situation, it rarely, let's say, it gathers and it becomes together within a regular person.
Of course.
To be in peak of the emotion and in peak of intelligence.
True.
at the
We can't
same
be
time.
peak of intelligence because we don't have the ilm.
Yeah.
And emotions, our emotions also, again, it's based on our understanding, our love.
Even the amount of intelligence is, it is affected by
Of course.
the emotional feelings,
Of
by the
course.
emotional situations
Of
that we
course.
are in.
Of course.
Sometimes when a person is sad, maybe he says something. When he is okay, he will regret about what he
Yes.
said. Or vice versa, sometimes people are very thinking intelligently, so they forget about emotion. They say, for example, kill all the other people, just hit them, and they don't think about the emotional aspects, so
Very
they
true.
don't come together
Very
mostly.
true. Very true. But Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they peak of both, and that becomes very beautifully illustrated in their lives. So you are the peak of piety. You are the mountain of piety that won't shake. You are the flag of piety that people can see. So this is a'lam. We want to spend time more on tuqa, piety. Tuqa comes from, same root word as waqaya, means protecting, preserving, safeguarding ourselves from what harms us. Or having courage, being strong and powerful in front of a sin. Because sins that are out there, every sin that becomes it's a sin, Allah made it haram because it affects us.
Yeah.
Husn wa qubh al-aql, what we discuss. Anything that is wajib, it's wajib because it benefits us. And it's mandatory. But those which benefit us, but without it, its absence, we're not going to be harmed. It's called mustahab. Mustahabat, if we do it, we will get more. But if we don't do it, it's okay. But wajibat, by not doing it, we are going to be harmed. We are stopping benefit to get to us. Haram, on the other hand, by us doing it, we will be harmed. Either we see it physically or we don't. That's why Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, for example, when it comes to ghibah, says if you gossip behind someone's back, Quran says, do you like to eat flesh of your dead body of your brothers? You don't like it. So we don't see it, but it's harming us when we gossip about someone. So that needs believe in unseen, that Allah says haram, haram, halal, halal. Why is it? Well, when the why comes in here, then what's the purpose of believing in unseen? No, I believe in unseen. When I go to the doctor and he prescribes me a medicine, I won't ask the ingredients of this prescription. And why 8 hours? Why this much ounces? Why 8 hours? Okay. This much doses? Okay. This is it. We move on. But when it comes to the religion...
And sir, I'm sorry you were speaking, sorry for interrupting you.
worries.
It is very rude to interrupt the doctor for every single thing that we don't understand because we don't have the information about it. We don't have that much science. But the doctor, when he says that, for example, in his prescription, that you need to take that dose of the medicine or in this time, we just say yes, and it's more polite.
Yeah, we submit. We don't say how it affects us, what is the benefit of it, why this medicine, why not the other medicine. No, we submit.
Maybe
to
one
doctor.
or two questions are okay, but
basic ones.
Yeah.
But we don't challenge the doctor that, okay, you said this, okay, no, I don't think so. You might be wrong. I'm going to go do my research and I find something else. Then why did you come to the doctor?
I will do it in my own way, for example.
Then do it your own way. Good luck. Piety, very, very important to keep this in mind. Everything that Allah has prescribed for us has a time and has a limit. For example, Salah, Subh 2 times, Dhuhr and Asr 8 times, 8 rak'ah, Maghrib and Isha 7 rak'ah. So it's limited.
Yeah.
Time, space, and the amount that you have to do. Fasting, 1 month of Ramadan
is wajib.
This is it. Hajj, if you are capable, mustati' and the rulings of istita'a, then once in your lifetime. Khoms, if exceeded money, 20%. Zakat, portion. Everything is portion and has time.
Yeah.
Salah, you're sick, you are a woman, you are within your menstrual period, don't pray. Fasting, you're sick, it harms you, don't fast. Khoms, you don't have money, don't pay. Hajj, you don't have money, don't go. When it comes to taqwa, there is no limit, there is no ending, There is no time that you do it now. If not, you don't have to do it. Chapter 3, verse 102. Allah says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O you who have faith. So you're already a believer. Yeah, Allah is not talking about Muslimin, which is the Islam that we talked. Islam, Mu'min, Islam. No, Allah is talking about the believers. O you who have faith, be wary of Allah with the wariness due to Him. حق تقاته. As much as you can be pious. So there is no limit that, okay, this much I can be pious. No, if you can go higher, go higher. Higher, higher, higher. As much as Allah can be pious. God, being God wary and aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, example can be given that a lot of people, when it comes into public in front of people, I am pious because people are watching me, people are seeing me, and I don't want people to have a wrong image from me, committing this haram, God forbid. So in front of people, I am pious. But when I'm in the hidden, nobody's seeing me. When I am fearing the sin because of Allah, not because of people watching me. Will that stop? Never. Because sin is always there.
Yeah.
Shaitan, until, we said it many times, until our last breath is trying to make us commit sin. Nafsul ammarata bisu commands us, pushes us, motivates us, prepares the platform for us to committing sin all the way out until last breath. So there is no limit how much we can be pious. There is no time. Some people say, Alhamdulillah, we reached the age of 60, this is it. Our faith, our iman is strong, it's firm, like a nail into the wall, this is it. We won't be deviated. I will ask, well, Shaitan, 6,000 years, he was deviated. You're not going to be worshipping Allah more than Shaitan, as far as the amount of years. We have stories from, for example, Zubair, being with Rasulullah all the way with Amir al-Mu'mineen, all the way until the Battle of Jamal. Then he was deviated. We do have people who were deviated last minute. And we have people other side also.
Just like Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi.
Hurr ibn Yazid al-Riyahi and other stories. So we don't have limit. Since sins are everywhere with us, this is called jihad. That this is a strive to defend ourselves, protect, safeguard, preserve, have the courage to say no until our last breath. If Shaitan would have given us a statement that, oh mankind, I will be with you until age 50. Well, Allah should have said, be pious, حق تقاته, no, until you're age 50. After age of 50, that's it. You can wash your hand and this is it. Do whatever you want to do, you don't have to be pious.
You're guaranteed.
You're guaranteed. But we don't have, no one has this guarantee.
Yeah.
So that's why Allah says, حق تقاته. As much as you're supposed to wear, Allah is not a scary being.
Yeah.
We're not scared of Allah as a being scary. He's not.
We're scared of our sin.
Arhamur Rahimin. No, we're scared of our own sin and the effect of our sin.
Yeah.
And the punishment that we will get. Everything has a cause and effect. If I stand in front of a car that's speeding 100 miles per hour, well, it's going to hit me. Then why the car hit me? Okay, I stood in front of this. If I drink, God forbid, na'udhu billah, and I get drunk and I do whatever I did, well, it was I who did it and I have to pay the consequences. Every cause has an effect, and every action that we do, it's going to have a consequence that we have to pay for it. So we are afraid of the sins. Allah Arhamur Rahimin. But He says, your sin has an effect. This sin of yours, it will come in this shape. For example, with the snakes and all the insects that will be in the grave and what they do to a person who sins. So we are afraid of that. So we have to be always afraid. Always be aware that what are we doing? Is this? Imam said, hadith. Don't have time to read the Arabic because we have a lot to cover and our time goes very fast. A person came to the Imam and says, okay, how can you describe piety? Imam says, whatever action that you do, think, if they put your actions on a plate, on a tray, and they go around the town and everybody can see your action, will you do your next action you're about to do or not? This is called piety. Every action I'm about to take, okay, this action of mine will be on this tray For example, every
People
Thursday,
can see it.
people would come and take a tray without my command. I don't have no option to it. If Allah made it this way, everybody would have acted rightly. If Thursday people come first thing in the morning, there's a tray. They knock on the door. I like it or not, I have to open the door. I'm forced to it. They open it. I open the door. They have a tray. He said, they would say, "Oh, bring your a'mal." And if I don't give it to them, my a'mal will go on that tray. So I respect myself and I put my a'mal. Throughout the week, did I do something that I'm afraid for people to see it? If I did, well, that's not piety. So every day that becomes piety. Fearing Allah, that showing.
Beautiful example.
So as soon as I'm about to say something, well, this me saying about it, gossiping behind someone's back, it will be on that tray. It will go around and he will see it. I won't do it. I, as a sheikh, if I did what I did, that will be on that plate, on that tray. They will go. People won't respect me anymore. People won't listen to me anymore. People won't appreciate me anymore. My own family and kids will say, "Why, Dad? You are a sheikh. Why did you do this?" And everyone else's tray goes around on Thursday. Everybody will fear God with every word that they utter.
But in order not to close the door for those who do a sin and want to seek regret from Almighty and ask Almighty to forgive them, there is a saying, I think, from Ahl al-Bayt, which says that you need to live as a person who is in khawf raja. You be afraid of your sins, but you at the same time you think of God in a good way and
His mercy
and seek His mercy. Yeah,
true.
So in this way, if you have done some sin, if you've done something wrong, then you can ask forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and inshallah Allah will forgive you. But
that's the next step.
Yeah,
that's the next step. A woman came to a scholar and she said that I have gossiped someone and I regret it badly, and that has caused very bad effects. I want to ask forgiveness. He told him or her, go and kill a chicken, cut a chicken, and bring me all of its feathers. He or she went, cut the chicken, and brought all the feathers. She said, I cut the chicken, here's all the feathers. He said, right now, go from here to your house and have those feathers out like on a tray or something. So feather is very light. When you go, a wind will blow it. Go to your house, come back. She went to the house, came back empty-handed. She said, okay, I came here to ask you to teach me how to ask forgiveness about my sin, this gossip that I have done, and I backbite someone. He said, right now, go and collect all of those feathers.
Oh.
She said, it's impossible. He said the effect of gossip, when you gossip behind someone's back and you ruin their reputation, they did something and you took that. Person comes to the Imam alayhi salam and says, Imam, such and such said such and such about you. Imam said, you hurt me.
Allah.
He threw an arrow toward me and it was out. You came and you delivered that arrow to me. You hurt me. So there is an effect. There are sins between people and there are sins between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not acting upon the wajibat, it's between me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ghafurun rahim. He will, I might forget, he might not forget. It's up to his hand to forget or not to forget. Arhamur Rahimin, inshallah we will forget. If I repent and if I have, for example, I have missed salah, purposely or intentionally or unintentionally, I make sure I do istighfar and I redo those salah that I do salah that I have missed. I have missed prayers or I have missed fasting and so on and so forth. So, but with the people, I do say istighfar. If I owe someone money that I haven't paid, I have to go pay him back. If I have gossiped someone, I have to tell them, I'm sorry, I have gossiped you and please forgive me. So that's to your point. But again, our action must be in a way that, again, our action will be on that tray every Thursday. Well, our action will be on our deeds every Monday and every Thursday. Our Imam sees our action. The one who our sustenance is in his hand, our rizq, our life, everything that happens in this universe in his hand, he sees my deeds every day. So I have to be very careful. So that's about piety and the meaning of piety. And we'll come more to it, inshallah. 2 ways that we can be pious, which we typically we go under the first category. This is what we have to accomplish to do, is distancing ourselves from sin, to not be tempted and not to commit sin. For example, I'm invited to a wedding. I know if I attend that wedding, there are people, women, they don't have proper hijab, because it's a mixed wedding. It's not men one side and women one side. Unfortunately, many of the weddings in the West are mixed, men and women all together. So the woman who comes, definitely she's going to come with the latest makeup, with the very fancy clothes, colorful. Okay, I'm going to side the haram, and it's going to be a problem. And there's going to be music. Unfortunately, more than 90% of the weddings in the West involves music and laughter with the opposite gender, and seeing the bride and seeing the groom and so on. It's a gathering that's
Party.
a party. We can say that Imam is not going to be happy with me.
Sure.
Let's put it in that word. So for me, the first way is to not attend. I apologize. For whatever reason, I won't be able to come. I appreciate your invitation. I will send my gift to the bride and the groom, and I pray for them that Allah will give them happy life, and so on and so forth. And I do in a way, because I know when I get there, for me to lowering my gaze, putting my hand in my ears, not seeing anything, not eating, what is this? So I rather stay at home and rather being there. And running away from haram, which we see this in chapter 12, verse 23. We learned this from one of the prophets of Allah sallallahu alayhi, when Zulaykha comes and closed the door. وراودته التي هو في بيتها عن نفسه وغلقت الأبواب وقالت حيت لك قال معاذ الله إنه ربي أحسن مثواي إنه لا يفلح الظالمون. The woman in whose house he was living. So closed the door and said, come. He said, I seek refuge in Allah. Indeed, He is my Lord. He has given me a good abode. Indeed, the wrongdoers are not felicitous. He says, Ma'adh Allah, I seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the next verse and next phrase, he runs toward the door. Even though the door is locked, he goes to the door because he shows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I don't want to commit sin. He seeks refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, number two, and he does whatever he can do. Typically people will say, okay, Allah,
the doors are closed, so how can I just
she is there, I can't do anything, she might kill me, whatever it is. And the justifications and excuses will get involved. That's what shaitan comes with us and brings us with excuses. Why don't you wear hijab? Because, Sheikh, I go to work and people will look at me differently. I go to the school, I have proper hijab, they might discriminate and this and that. Why don't you pray at work? Well, if I pray at work, they will find out that I'm Muslim and I'm praying, and my boss will think about me and they might fire me. All the reasons. Why did you sit on the table where alcohol is served? It is haram. Well, if I don't get invitation to that meeting, and if I don't attend, my boss won't like it. It's a very important excuses. But always we have a way that we can get out of it. When he runs toward the door, as soon as he gets to the knob, the door opens. One after one after one. I believe, according to narrations and history, there were 7 doors that she locked. One after one, all the doors open, and she gets out of it without committing a sin. So that becomes a good action plan for us, to not put ourselves in a situation that it's hard to get out of it. We mentioned this verse many times. Allah says, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Don't follow the footstep of shaitan. And I give this example. For example, this is the route that we're going. It's a straight to heaven. And there is a slippery slope. Allah says, لا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان. Don't step on the first step. Because this is so deep and so slippery. When you get onto this, it's very hard to come back. One sin will lead to another, and you will go all the way down. So don't follow that first. Why you go first and say, well, I will try not to. Well, that first lie will get the second lie, will get the third lie, and so on and so forth. Attending to that wedding that haram is involved, one eyesight to the second eyesight and the third, and if I'm not married, fall in love with the opposite gender, and maybe haram, and maybe saying something, or music and dance, and so on and so forth. لا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان. Don't follow the footstep. From the beginning, say no.
And the easiest sin that everyone can do is to say lie to the other. And that's why we have hadith that says that the lie is the key to any sin.
Yes,
so
all the wrongdoings are in one room, and the key to that is lying.
Lie,
And we have also about anger and other issues. So do not start the first step, because when you get it, he will push you. And the platform is so beautifully designed and decorated by shaitan. It's very attractive. He makes it attractive. The path to accepting shaitan is not going to be something very ugly and disgusting and not like, no. He beautifies it and he justifies it for you, and he brings reason and excuses for you to follow. Taqwa says from the beginning, think. If I take this first step, even though it's a small step, small sin that I think, which there's no small sin, even though we have greater sin and minor sin, but sins are sins. The relative between these sins make one greater, one minor. If not all the sins, if we commit in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a great sin, be it lying or be it killing, both are sins. But lying compared to killing, well, lying can become minor and killing become major. So that's one way, which we have to always strive. To not put ourselves in a situation. I receive a message on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter from the opposite gender that I can see it's leading to something else, leading to something else, leading to something else. Well, I'll from the beginning say, well, I'm sorry, I won't be able to reply to you. Move on. Why do you just drag it? First it comes, I have a question. Okay, what is the question? And then goes, and then goes, and then goes, and then we'll end up in somewhere that we don't want to be. From the beginning, sorry, I blocked that number. If it's something that I cannot help you with, it's not in my hands, someone else can do it, well, let's go. Something, because we are the opposite gender. When two of us, we are on this, shaitan is the third one, he's going to be there. Another way is all having that immunity, having that courage in a way that I'm not affected by sin. Rather, I influence other people and I can change around me. That is something very, very difficult to attain. I'm not going to say impossible, but in a way, we can say it in a way to make it tangible. Sometimes I don't go to a place that has, for example, a virus, a contagious virus. I don't get near it. For example, right now with coronavirus, I make sure I avoid places that have people who are infected with coronavirus. We pray for all of them and all of those who are serving as the nurses and doctors and so on and so forth. But sometimes I know I've received some kind of vaccination that I know if I get there, I won't be infected. Rather, I can help. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, but I can help a nurse. Bring something for her, take her somewhere. I can do something. I can help the doctor, even though I'm not a doctor, but I am immune that I can do something. Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they were the ones who were not infected by, rather they were changing. Keep changing and changing, and that was a'lam al-tuqa, that people can see. That piety kept spreading. Those who had the receiver received it. Like Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, who was a thief and who was an infidel, a disbeliever, receives that piety from Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and Imam Ali alayhi salam becomes one of the minna Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And we have people, close relatives of Rasulullah, like his uncle, they don't have that receiver. So let us focus on the first one. As much as possible, let me think, by me attending this event, by me saying this, by me going this place, by me wearing what I'm about to wear, am I going to have first step of shaitan partake or no? Am I going to be, okay, no, it's allowed. People will see it, I'm allowed. I'm okay with it. People know that I went to this place, I have no problem. But some of us, we do something, make sure you don't tell my father. Make sure my father doesn't know. Make sure my husband or my wife doesn't know. We're afraid of them that much. So no, let people know. What I'm doing, it's okay for people to know about it. Piety becomes very important, and each of these methods needs striving. Like we have to put a lot of effort. Like it is a constant jihad. That's why it's a greater jihad compared to minor jihad, attacking people, defending our land. Greater jihad is fighting against your ego, that you want to get angry, you want to say bad words, you want to do haram, and you say no. And that becomes difficult while we are not in the public. Where hadith says, Imam Ali alayhi salam in Hajj al-Balagha says, قال عليه السلام اتقوا معاصي الله في الخلوات فإن الشاهد هو الحاكم. Be careful, be pious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in private. When you are in private, when there is no one, be wary of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because the one who's witnessing you is the one who is the judge. It becomes very difficult. I'm in my room, I have my devices with me, I can do what I can do. No one is watching me. The one who's watching me is the one who's going to judge me. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me think again. That can be a very good action plan. Whatever I'm seeing, whatever I'm scrolling down, do I like people on that Thursday to see that action of mine, those videos on the tray, or no? That becomes a very good tool to keep in mind. There is more. Oh my God, we haven't been able to go even to second pages of our notes. How long we have?
I think that we can have some more time if it's necessary, so we can just finish this phrase. Yeah.
So وقال اتقوا الله. So it's very important to be aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in private. Keep reminding yourself. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in this TV channel, but I've said it one time, but it's a good reminder. One of my friends, when I entered his room, he had a scale and a set of eyes on the scale. So for example, the scale is right and left. He had eye on the right side and eye on the left. One eye on the eye, one on the left. I told him, what is this? He said, I have illustrated this hadith in this illustration, that the one who's witnessing me is the one who's going to scale and judge me. So when I'm in my room, I be careful. Put sticky notes, put this hadith, and put an eye that somebody's watching you. Allah. Just keep watching you. Again, it was beautiful. Scale, an eye on it. That he's watching me and he's going to judge me. He said, when I'm in my room, as soon as I come near thinking of sin, I remember the eyes and the scale. Creative way of not committing sin. There's a hadith, there's a narration, a sermon by Imam Ali alayhi salam that talks about the pious individual. I brought some phrase of it that is beautifully describes a pious individual. Imam says, غاضين أبصارهم عما حرم الله جل وعز واقفين أسماعهم على العلم. Pious individual, Hammam came to Imam Ali alayhi salam and he said, describe for me a pious individual as I can see him right now. I can see him. Basically all up to toe. His clothes, his eyes, his nose, his ears, his tongue, his physical body. How is he behaving? I want to imagine him vividly. Imam says they keep their eyes closed to what Allah has made them unlawful for them. First element of being pious, that you close your eyes whatever Allah has prevented you to watch. I'm going to close it. That needs practice. That needs a practice, and practice makes perfect. And they put their ears to knowledge. Anywhere there is a knowledge that they can attain and they attend, they go. Online lectures they listen to. They go to majalis. Whatever it is, they try to gain as much as possible. So they won't be like those people who Allah says their ears, they have ears but they don't hear with it. Because they have filled it with haram, that right now when it comes to the truth, they have filled their ears with wrongdoing and wrong statements by the enemies of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. When Imam comes and he gives the sermon, they don't hear it. Allah. They're hearing it but they're not comprehending it. They're not taking it in for them to be guided. There's a next phrase, we'll leave it inshallah for the next episode inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the great lecture that we had tonight.
Alhamdulillah.
And Alhamdulillah, thanks to Almighty as He deserves. Alhamdulillah kama huwa ahlu. And we also need to thank Imam Hussein alayhi salam for hosting us and having this great hospitality in Karbala, that we are able to be in this town, this blessed place, next to his holy shrine, and in this peaceful and beautiful place, and having this great lecture about them. Because I would like just to just mention something in this couple of minutes, or 1 or 2 minutes that are remaining to the end of this show, that even having the bless of speaking about Ahlul Bayt, it needs a blessing from them. It needs tawfiq, as they say it in Arabic. So inshallah, we deserve this tawfiq, and inshallah we
can fulfill it,
continue to fulfill it, and we can continue and keep doing this way and going through this way. I would like to thank you so much,
I believe tomorrow night we're not going to have the live show.
Tomorrow night?
The night of 19.
Yeah.
The night of 21st.
Yeah, as the night of
23rd. We're not going to have a live show.
Sure, and it's going to be tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night is the night of 19.
Tomorrow is night of 19. Okay, so we're not going to have the show tomorrow night, but we are going to have the show, inshallah, the other night. So it will be one night. Between each night we've got an off because of the Layal al-Qadr. Anyway, inshallah, don't forget us in the Layal al-Qadr and pray for us. And inshallah, we will also pray for you and for all the mu'mineen and mu'minat. Let's we pray for each other. It will be a good way to ask Almighty's mercy, inshallah. Respected viewers, dear brothers and sisters, thank you as well for tuning in. And to be honest, I'm so happy and grateful to Almighty for being able to be at your service, inshallah. As Sheikh Mustafa Akhund said, tomorrow night we're not going to be at your service because of the night of Qadr, and there are other shows that are going to be broadcasted through Imam Hussein TV 3. But the other night, inshallah, we will be at your service with the rest phrases of this great Ziyarah Al Jamiah. Have a great night. May Allah have mercy on all of you, dear brothers and sisters. Thank you for tuning in, and Ya Hussein.